As HR practitioners, we probably live this every day, and we probably consult with our advisors or to our clients every day about what is the problem you're solving before you jump into solutions. And that's really the basis of what this conversation is about today. So you already kind of saw some of these pieces of perspective when we had the Global Force presentation related to what's happening in this new millennium in terms of expectations of our employees. We talked a lot about, from going to your static appraisals to more enablement and helping people be successful, looking at more ways of getting information through crowdsourcing than traditional surveying, things about networking. You saw a lot of information related to the hierarchies are kind of gone, and it's sort of how do you maneuver effectively across an organization up, down, and around where titles don't matter. You've also seen a lot of things around corporate values and more into employee experience. The notion of big words on paper in offices talking about corporate values are less important than what the employee experience is every day. And it's more about the action than the words. And I can imagine you could all put your name up on this and have a similar story about just lots of business transformation and change. And why this is important to me is it talks to you all about how to think about transformation in your organizations while the business transforms, because you can't sit still while the business goes forward. So just a couple key points. In 2015, we were a storage and security company. We spun off a company called Veritas. We had to stand up the company to either spin it or to sell it. And so it actually was bought by private equity. And if anyone ever done a divestiture before? Where's Tracy? Okay. Okay. It's a lot harder, I've come to find, than acquisition. And it's even harder when you want to stand it up to look really great and the company that you remain in has to deal with all the stranded costs, right? So we had that complexity. But the good news is we became a cybersecurity focused company, which was really critical for us to be, able to get the market back to where we wanted to get it towards. And with that, we also were bringing the whole enterprise go-to-market together by combining the Blue Coat sales force with the Symantec sales force. And then in 2018, because we've gotten so good at divestitures, we decided we were going to also divest ourselves of our website security business, because it was not a business that we felt was good for our business, and it was something that was around certificates and certifying websites, and it wasn't a business we felt we should be in. So we divested ourselves of that. In addition, we kept doing a couple more M&A acquisitions, tuck-ins. And then in terms of desired results and outcomes, this is a big one, obviously. So does it need to be done extremely well? Because I think what we happen to do sometimes in HR is we have way too many initiatives. We don't always maybe do the right load balancing and the resourcing, and everything has to be done 110%. And I believe perfection is the enemy of innovation, and you can't do everything perfectly. So you have to be able to trade off what has to be done 110% GDPR and what could be done 80%, which might be, the gym. Maybe the gym's not, premium style, right? But you have to pick and choose what you're going to invest in. And then does it need to be done efficiently? And it doesn't even need to be done. I think very often we create more stress on ourselves because we begin to think about, I've got to get this done, as opposed to taking a step back and saying, would it be better to wait to do something that's more holistic, or can it even wait and can we do something later? Again, reinforcement would be, don't just run to bots because you think it's going to save you money. There's lots of implications with bots in relationship to the investment, the productivity gain, the humanitarianism around the employee experience. But be clear about what the problem is that you're going after, define your challenges and outcome, and then evaluate your solution. So let me talk a little about what we're doing here. I'll always end with the quote, and anyone who knows Deming is, without data, you're just another person with an opinion. So that's never more critical than in human resources, because sometimes we get tagged as people who are more about the feeling than the thinking, and I think you can do both. And I think data can be our friends, and that's why it's so critical when you work through these practices to have the right kind of data.